All right. Looks like we're live on Facebook. I am not completely sure if I can see your guys' comments. So if there's anybody in here watching and you make comments, I'm going to try to find those as we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, I can see the comments now, so that's really good. If you guys want to, you can put questions in the comments down below. I have a couple of things running in here. I've got a camera running, and I've also got the slides up so you guys can see them. I wanted to make sure that you guys had the slides on the Facebook Live so that you didn't have to just look at the camera, because I know on the camera you just can't read any of this. So the slides are up for you. Before we get started, I wanted to welcome everybody. This is the rental property not rental property class. I'm thinking in terms of rental property. I've been talking a lot about it today. I wanted to welcome everybody out to the first-time homebuyer class. As you guys know, the snow has pretty much scared everybody away from coming out in person, so that's okay. Just leave your comments down below in the Facebook Live event. I will be able to see those, and I will answer your questions. But let's get started. So this is the first-time homebuyer class. It is taught by me. All right, so let's do a little bit about me. So I'm TJ McLelland. I am the team lead of Fitness Realty. We are with Real Broker right now, or Real. They want us all to stop saying Real Broker for some reason, but we are with Real. It has been an amazing time. The transition has really been effective for us. We are looking to continue to grow our business, so I'm excited to watch that grow and watch it happen. All right, so a little bit about me though. We've done over 160 million in closed transactions. I've been a first-time home buyer myself. I have bought a home in North Carolina that we sold. I bought a home in Sandy that we sold. I bought a home in Saratoga Springs that we turned into a rental. And then I bought my other home in Saratoga Springs, and then I have bought a rental property out in Missouri that we still own right now. But I wanted to make sure you guys knew, like, I have been a first-time home buyer before. So I understand some of the principles that we're going to be talking about, or not some, sorry. I understand the principles that you're going to be going through. I understand some of the mindset that you might be struggling with for a first-time home or for your first home. So, but we have helped tons of first-time home buyers. You see it up there, the FTHBs. I have helped a ton of first-time home buyers. And then a little quote: we may not be house whisperers, but we sure know how to talk you into your dream home. I don't know how true that is. I haven't talked anybody into any home. When you're working with me, you literally have to say, TJ, I would like to make an offer on XYZ property. Otherwise, we just go and see homes and hang out and have a good time. All right. Well, let's get into tonight's agenda. Tonight's agenda, we're going to be talking about why buy a home, understanding your budget. We're going to talk about mortgage basics. We're going to be talking about choosing the right location. If that hasn't been more true than right now, like, I don't know, there's tons of stuff happening in our local market that I'll hopefully share and shed some light on. We're also going to talk about the home buying process overview. There is absolutely no way to slam the entire overview of how to buy your first house into 1 hour. There's just not a way to do that. So we're going to really skim over the top. And then as you guys have questions, just let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. And then since we don't have anybody here live in the class, there probably won't be a normal Q&A session. But usually I like to take questions at the end. But like I said, the snow really scared everybody away. So why don't real estate agents trust stairs? Because they're always up to something. All right, so why buy a home? There are tons of strategies behind why buy a home. I'm sure your minds are racing thinking about those right now. Maybe some equity, maybe you don't want to deal with a landlord anymore. Maybe you have some kids living with you that you need to like get out of your basement. There's a lot of reasons that go into why buying a home. I have a few listed up here. The first one that I really love is to build some equity. There are a lot of people that think that buying a house is like the golden way to make money. Buying a house and living in it is a great savings account. Most people will try to tell you that that's a great way to save or to have a retirement. Excuse me. In my opinion, it is a great way to just save money and have something hedged against inflation. But your primary residence does not make money, right? You have or it's not an asset. To have it be an asset or make money, it has to be generating revenue or income for you. And most of the time, your primary residence just doesn't do that. There are some ways that you could do that, maybe with house hacking and renting out some of your space or bedroom to somebody, or your parking, maybe to RV parking, something like that. But typically, your primary residence is a really good savings plan. All right. So building equity, though, what I was trying to get to that is when you are in your primary residence, it is a great way to build equity, and it's a great way to cap how much you're paying for your housing expenses to some degree, right? Obviously, like taxes and insurance go up, and we'll get into that when we talk about the mortgage, but it's not going up at the rate that a rental unit would. So your rent might really skyrocket and go with inflation. However, if you can get into a home, then you can stop those increases, minus taxes and insurance, obviously. Then you got some stability and security. I know there are a lot of people that want the stability of having their own home. They want the same location. They want to build relationships in that neighborhood. They really want to live and work and play in that area. And it really does provide that stable environment where you're not packing up and moving every year, hopefully. It is a great way to do that. The security part depends on where you purchase your home. I'm not saying that there's really bad areas in Utah. Obviously, Utah has just great areas, and most of them are really, really secure. But the security, I think, does come from feeling like you don't have a landlord to deal with, and then also feeling like you can control the expenses that might happen with the cost of the ownership. You know, barring a roof or a kitchen repair or something really big, most of the time a house is a really great plan to just cap off your expenses. All right, I know we've kind of beat that to a dead horse, or beat the dead horse or whatever. So let's go to the next one. Freedom to customize. If you are a tenant right now, or you're living in your parents' basement and you're just pissed off about that and you don't want to deal with them anymore, buying a home is a great way to make sure that you can have access to customize your home. Now, if you can't afford a single family home and we're going to be in a townhome, or you are a person that enjoys a townhouse lifestyle, that's okay. You know, you can customize the inside. Most likely you're not going to be able to customize the outside whatsoever, but you'll have a great time customizing the inside. And then obviously for a single family home, you will have full customization abilities, minus what a city can stop you from doing. So I love that part, the freedom to customize, amazing. And if you find a home that doesn't have a basement already put in, you can customize the basement to what you would like. And I think that's really, really huge. All right, the last one, likely investment growth. In the beginning, when I said this isn't going to be an income producing stream, that is absolutely correct. What this does is hedges against inflation, because as homes increase, typically with the same pace that inflation does, it helps you increase your net worth as that home appreciates in value. The interesting thing there to me is there are a lot of people that still try to really promote a primary residence as an income producing thing, and that's just not the case. All right, let's move on. All right, everybody that's online, thank you so much. Leave your comments down below if you'd like, and I'll get to those questions when we get to them. All right, this is a little fun fact break. The median age of a first-time home buyer is 35. Now, that sounds kind of crazy because in Utah, that happens a lot sooner. This is a national average. In Utah, I don't know what that average age is, but I know it's a lot earlier than 35. That's just the way it is. I don't know if Utah just promotes that way of thinking and parents are instructing their children a lot better to home ownership, or maybe it's just easier in Utah to get a home. That's probably not the case because prices are really high right now. So I'm not really sure, but in Utah, the average age does feel a lot younger than 35 for their first-time home buyer, or for a first-time home buyer. Now in 23, I don't have stats for 24 yet, but when I do, I'll update this slide. But in 23, 32% of home buyers for the entire year were first-time home buyers, which is really, really interesting to me. It's interesting to me to see the average age so high. So you know that somebody is in their mid 40s that is buying a home, and then there's somebody that's in their like early 20s to try to make that an average age of 35. So some of it, the mentality behind getting your first home, I think is really, really super scary. And that's one of my jobs, is to help people understand that it's not as scary as people make it seem. And also, there are a ton of education pieces that we like to offer. And so we can unravel the gray mist and the smoke that's around first-time home buying. So anyway, I just love that. If you're a young person right now, message me. I'll help you get into your first home, and you can start this warpath of generating some income and things with your first home that turns into a first rental. All right, 74% are renters, and 26% of those were living rent-free. Now that's really interesting. And in Utah, I would imagine that it's probably pretty high on the amount of tenants that are living rent-free. And I'm sure you guys can already see where I'm going with that. Families in Utah really help take care of their family members and put them on a trajectory that is to be more successful out there in the world. And I'm not saying like Utah is the best at that. I'm just saying that the way Utah seems to run has a leg up on a lot of other places. And then the down payment average was 6% for 2023. There are a lot of programs right now that first-time homebuyers can qualify for grants, low down payment assistance programs. So if the down payment is the scariest thing for you, don't let that scare you. Message us and I'll take care of you, and we'll help educate. All right, let's move into understanding your budget. So first of all, you're going to assess your financial health. Now, a good lender can walk you through this, and we have lots of great lenders right in our back pocket. I almost deal them like playing cards. We just have a lot of lenders that are amazing, and we have great relationships with them. So sometimes we just go where your personality wants to go to find a good lender. But most of the lenders that we have will assess your financial health. That would be, how much debt do you have? What are your payments looking like? Can you afford this new payment of a home? Are they looking for long-term student debt? Right? There are tons of things that go into your financial health, and not just debt, but like income side, extra money, overtime shifts, side jobs. There's a lot of stuff that can go into your financial health. A lender, one of our partners, will do that for you and see if you are qualified to purchase a home. And a lot of times they'll tell you, hey, this is the pathway we need to get on for you to become eligible to purchase a home. The awesome thing there is a lender is going to give you what's called a pre-qualification letter or pre-approval letter. The difference there, really fast. Pre-qual letter, they just had a phone conversation with you. Pre-approval letter, they've actually ran your credit and made sure that you have credit that is worthy of purchasing a home. The pre-approval letter is stronger than the pre-qualification letter. All right, calculating affordability. Like I said, our lender partner is going to walk you through what the payment looks like, what taxes look like, insurance, how it all works, what the interest rate looks like, what your credit score looks like on the home side. There are so many things that they're going to walk you through, and that's the beauty of the lender. The lender's job is to make sure that you understand the money side. Our job as realtors is to help keep you legal during the purchase process. So we understand the contracts, we understand the ins and outs of the business, we understand and have the experience to help you get to the finish line, and most of the time feel like you didn't even buy a house. It's that easy. And I don't say that as like a hoodwinking thing. I'm just saying that the process is relatively simple. It just doesn't look like that on the outside. And then when we walk you through, it really is pretty easy. All right, the importance of saving for down payment. I like this bullet, but I also don't like it because there are programs that you can get 0% down and get into a home today. Well, 30 days, right? Look, the contract process takes a little time. But if you're a VA member right now or a veteran, doesn't matter what branch, you can use your VA home loan benefits, and that is a 0% down, fully financed loan vehicle for you. I've used my VA loan 3 times, something like that. So if you're a VA member and you're like, holy crap, I've used my VA member benefits or the VA home loan already once, and now I can't use it again, totally false. There are so many fallacies with the VA home loan. So don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to the internet. Message me, find out. I'll give you all the real information. All right. Why was the mortgage so clingy? Because it wanted a long-term commitment. Oh, those are silly and also kind of stupid. All right, mortgage basics. So types of mortgages. The FHA home loan, VA, conventional, and a whole slew of other products. When I say FHA home loan, most of the time people think first-time home buyer. That's what an FHA home loan is. It has nothing to do with first-time home buyer. Most of the time, a first-time home buyer will use an FHA program, but it doesn't stand for that. It just means Federal Housing Administration, which means it's just a government-backed home loan. So there are a lot of different FHA qualifications. There's a lot of ways to kind of slice that. A good lender, one from our back pocket, will walk you through whichever FHA loan might be the best for you. And then, like I said, if you're a veteran, the VA home loan is by far the best tool to get you into a home, like 99.7% of the time. I did do a conventional loan when I could have done a VA home loan once. And the real reason I did that was the conventional loan had slightly better interest rate because I was putting a lot of money down. And that was the only reason. Otherwise, the VA home loan is my favorite. And then conventional products, those will be the typical ones that you've always heard about, like 15% down, 20% down. You'll have a lot of skin in the game most of the time with conventional products. But there are banks right now offering a lot of 0% conventional products, or 3.5% down conventional products, or 5% down. So there's a lot of like wiggle room in there. There's tons of different ways to cut that. And like I said, a good lender will walk you through each one of those programs and find the best fit for you. So you don't have to struggle through that. You don't have to go to the internet and say, what is the best type of home loan for me? You don't have to do any of that. Just talk with one of our lenders and they will walk you through the best home loan for you. Once again, on the mortgage basic side for interest rates, a lot of people like to say, oh, interest rates are like 7% or they're just shy of 7%, but we could probably get you bought down to like a 6%. None of that stuff matters. And the reason why the interest rates don't matter on that is because there are like 150 factors that go into everything about interest rates. And so when somebody quotes you an interest rate, it has nothing to do with that. They have to physically, or sorry, not physically, but they have to individually look at each one of your things with your financial health, income, debt, everything we already talked about. They have to look at all of that to see what interest rate is offered to you, because every bank offers different stuff and they offer different stuff based on what you provide for income and debt and everything like that, and credit. So if you have a very high credit score, typically your interest rate's a lot lower. If you have a pretty crappy credit score, then the interest rate is a lot higher. But when somebody tries to quote you an interest rate, it doesn't mean anything because they haven't looked at any of your items and your financial health. Like I said, best thing, get pre-approved. So the pre-approval process, if you're working with me, I love to get you pre-approved before we really start going and seeing some homes, because I want to make sure that you know what you're looking for and what price range you want to buy into and things like that. It just makes more sense without like showing you $1 million home and you can't qualify for that. That would just be silly to get your hopes up, and also just waste time because you couldn't actually buy that home. So the pre-approval process, if you're working with me, we'll sit down, we'll chat. I will introduce you to one of my best lenders, and I typically give you 2 or 3 to pick from. They're all going to be amazing. They will all get the job done. All you have to do is pick the one that you like talking to the most, because you'll talk to them a little bit, not super often, but a little bit. And it just makes an easier time if you like talking to that person. But they all will have competitive interest rates. They will all have different benefit packages, different lender profile packages. There will be offerings that they all have. We make sure that we have the most competitive lenders in our back pocket, so you never have to worry about that. All right, up next, choosing the right location. Like I said, in Utah, there are a lot of things happening, and choosing the right location is super, super key. So, factors to consider: schools, commute, amenities, parks, work areas, I-15, distance to work, which might be commute. Let's see, what else is out there? Mountains. Are they building a lot of high density? Are they cutting up a lot of the farmland? Is there no farmland left? Are they building high rises? There's so many factors to consider. A lot of my favorites, though, commute. That is one of the biggest key points for most of my buyers. Then they try to balance that with their price range. So a lot of times you might be able to go outside of the city for a little ways, and get a little better price. But at rush hour, you might be in 1 hour or 2 hours worth of traffic. We're turning into little LA right now as we speak. And so the commute is definitely one of the biggest factors there that I've had with my buyers. But there are tons of factors to think about. We actually have a buyer's due diligence checklist that will walk you through about 14 or 15 ideas to think about, and then you can choose which ones are really relevant for you, and then go down the rabbit hole and start searching and seeing what you like and dislike. But we don't do a lot of that research for you. I will point you in the right direction for a ton of it, but it's mostly up to you to try to decide what you like, where you want to be, location specific like that, and that way I can help you shop in that location. So you'll definitely want to research neighborhoods, crime rate, sex offender list. There's lots of other stuff about neighborhoods. Something that we can't advertise on the MLS is anything about families. So we can't share demographics for the area. So a lot of times if somebody asks me, hey, I really want to be in a family specific area or a family centric area where there's lots of families. So the thing that I usually tell my clients is that I can't tell you where the families are, but I can tell you that if you're going to start looking in a location, if you drive around and there are a lot of parks and playgrounds and kids' stuff all over the yards, chances are there are a lot of families there. So I can't tell you specifically. I can just say, hey, go look for the things that families often have, and you will find locations for that. All right, future growth potential. This one's huge too. So if you're going to buy in Tooele County, for instance, that area might really explode as we get the inland port figured out. If you guys have never heard about the inland port, then just research it a little bit. It's going to be huge, massive warehouse. I think most of it, or not most of it, I know some of it's getting talked about at the legislature. So there's tons of stuff that's going to go into that. The people that will work at the inland port, I don't believe there's enough housing to really take on all those people, as lots of amenities move here as well, as that really kind of ramps up in Salt Lake County. So I think that it's going to bleed over to Tooele County. So I do think that there might be a spur of Tooele County that just might grow pretty rapidly. But there's a lot of other future growth potential areas. Saratoga Springs is exploding right now. There's a lot of great potential there. Down south, like Santaquin, Spanish Fork, Springville, Payson even. There's a lot that's kind of happening down there. And like I said, that is a long ways away from downtown Salt Lake. But if you have a remote job or anything like that, you could get a great price point and let it really grow up around you. So anyway, lots of future growth potential. I usually try to really hammer that in and help you understand where that home might be 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, and try to enlighten you about where that might go. All right, what do houses wear? A dress. Oh my gosh, these are so funny. All right, what we have up on the screen is a QR code. So if you want to scan that, and if you found any of this information to be helpful, if you'll leave me a review, that would be great. I really appreciate it. We're almost up to 200 reviews right now, but any more reviews will just help us break over that 200. So I'm just very grateful. Thank you so much for watching. We're not finished. I just want to make sure that we throw this plug out there. All right, let's talk about the home buying process. Like I said, there's no way I can slam the entire home buying process in a 1-hour class or shorter. So we kind of have a timeline up there. You guys probably can't read that from the camera. I could get you the slides if you want, but I'll kind of go over the general idea. So obviously we want to get you pre-approved so that we know what you can afford, and so that we're not wasting your time showing you properties that you'll fall in love with and then you just can't even buy. I've never really had anything where it was like $500,000 off from what you could buy when I would show homes, but I have had in the past where it might be $100,000 off, and people fall in love with a home and they fall in love with the idea of that home, and they can literally see their life for the next 10 to 15 years inside that home. And then when we find out that they can't qualify for that home because we were $100,000 off, that's rough. And it feels like they have to sever off that part of their life. And it's like, well, you've never actually lived there, but that mind is really powerful. So I hate doing that part, or I hate it when it goes that way. So the pre-approval letter, like I said, very important. Then we're going to go see some homes. That one's my favorite part of the house hunt or the home buying process. I love to go see homes. I love opening doors. I love seeing what the home looks like. I love talking about it, educating about home ownership. I love to talk about maintenance that needs to get done. I've seen some flips that were horrible. I've seen some homes that really needed to be flipped. Like, I've seen some crazy stuff. One of the funniest things, or not funny, but one of the weirdest things that I saw, I was showing homes up in the Cove, Olympus Cove. And I don't really know why I was showing homes up there. I think my buyers were qualified at the time, but it was just a price point that I wasn't super familiar with. I think it was like 800 grand at that time. And at that time, like 800 grand was a lot. Right now, as inflation kind of happened, 800 grand just feels like a normal house, you know, like I shouldn't say that, but it's just weird to see that. Anyway, we went inside the home and we walked in and we got to the bedroom, and up on the walls were the homeowner's art, their professional art pictures. And it freaked my buyers out, and we literally like turned tail and took off. So anyway, I love to house hunt. That's one of my favorite things to find. I just love to give you the homes that you think you'd like, and then we help educate about what negative aspects might be in those homes that you hate, because I find humans just in general can find the negative really fast. So then we just dice off the negative things and keep finding the home that might fit for you. Now, the amount of times that we've gone house hunting and the first house I've shown somebody they write an offer on and they buy is pretty high. I'm not saying like over 50% or anything like that, because that's not the case. I just have done it many times where I listen to what you say, show you the very first house because it meets all those criteria boxes, and boom, we write an offer and we get that house. So I've gotten pretty good at listening to what you like, hearing what you're actually saying, because that's two different things sometimes, and then showing you the homes that you are telling me that you want to see. All right, then making an offer. Like I said, the lender is going to take care of the money side. My job as a realtor is to help you understand the contract process. So then we walk through the contract process of making an offer. We will have some inspections and appraisal that happens in the middle of that contract as well. Right now, I know that it sounds like a scary process to even purchase a home, and contracts seem scary. They totally are, right? It is a very long contract. It's got tons of teeth in it. If you breach the contract or you screw something up or you fail to do something, there are repercussions. But like I said, my job is to help you understand the contract and keep you legal and safe during that process. And then closing the deal, of course. Yeah. Get to the finish line, buying the home, getting inside your home, getting the keys. That is one of my favorite pieces of this whole puzzle. When we are able to take what somebody's thoughts are about a home and get them to where that is now a real thing for them, that's huge. And we've done it for hundreds of clients up to this point. So one last plug. Thank you to all my clients. I love you guys. Thank you to all my friends out there that are clients as well. I love you guys as well. There is just so much fulfillment that comes from that for me. That's one of my favorite parts of this job. Okay. If you found this to be helpful, like I said, leave us a review. That would really help me out. I just am very grateful for everybody that takes us on and either has us represent them to buy a home or sell a home. Or if you just found this information to be useful and helpful, then give us a review too. All right, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. Let me get another little drink. Okay, common mistakes to avoid. Skipping the mortgage pre-approval process. I don't know. I've probably said this process 3 times now. So it should be keying in that this part is very, very important. Getting pre-approved is very, very important. And honestly, one of the key aspects there is you might be 2 years from being able to buy a home. Well, it would be nice to know that for you so that you can say, hey, in 2 years, I'm going to be ready. And this is the warpath I'm on to buy my first house. It might be 6 months though. I've had tons of clients that are like, hey, I'm not ready to buy. It's going to be 2 years. And I'm like, well, have you had anybody actually look at your financial health? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, then you have no idea. 2 years just could be what you're saying, which is fine. If you're like, hey, my plan is 2 years, totally good. And like, I'm never going to force you to buy a house. Like, I don't do that. I don't even care. I want you to get the home that you want at the time frame you want it. You want the house. So, but the pre-approval process, you might be closer than you think. I've had tons of clients that were like, hey, I'm going to be 6 months out, no problem. Then I'm like, hey, let's get it looked at. And they're ready to go. And their lease is expiring like in the next month. And the timing just works out really, really beneficial for them. And so I love to work around the facts. So if you get a lender from our partnership side that is good and they look at your financial health and they say, yeah, you're 2 years away, great. Now you have a fact that you can write on. Or maybe they say, hey, you're ready to go and your purchase price is $350,000. And maybe you're like, $350K, that doesn't really buy me much, so maybe I'll wait for my next promotion, get that bumped up, then maybe it'll be $425 or $500 or whatever, right? There's a lot of ways that can go, and I just like working around the raw facts. So if you get one of our lenders to do your checkup or get a pre-approval process going, then you'll have the real facts that you can make sure that you understand. All right, ignoring hidden costs. There are so many hidden costs out there that dumb people try to put, I shouldn't say that. Smart, snaky people try to put in deals that try to take advantage of unknown people or people that have people that don't understand the process or people that don't really know what's happening. They get taken advantage of. My job is to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's why we have all these great partnerships that I have vetted over the years. And I have fired tons of lenders over the years, right? If they have junk fees or their fees are too high or their interest rates aren't competitive, I mean, I literally just like, boom, you're fired. We're not sending any more business, sorry. Unless you get competitive and then you can work with us again. But I literally fire the people that aren't effective in their jobs. They just don't work with us anymore. And that's what I like to do for my clients and my friends because I want to take care of you. So the hidden costs, I do my best to eliminate as many of those as possible To this day, I don't know of any that have gotten snuck in. I'm sure that it may have happened, but probably not. So anyway, I love to help make sure that you just don't have any hidden costs or get taken advantage of. And then overextending your budget. There are a lot of people that get pre-approved and they're like, I just don't want to be house poor or house broke. I totally get that. So if you get pre-approved for $500,000 and you're like, well, I don't want to spend $500,000. I want you to show me homes at 400,000. Great. I will show you homes at 400,000 all day. A lot of times you'll be like, well, these homes are disgusting. Let's go see something a little bit more expensive. That's just how it goes. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that everybody has to evaluate their mortgage payment for them. I've had people that swing for the fence and leverage to the end of the field. And I've had people that will leverage half of what they were pre-approved for and everything in between. So there's just a lot of variables in there, which is the beauty of this entire process. You get to make sure that it works for you. And my job is to help guide you through that. All right, not researching the market. If you hire anybody else that's a realtor out there and they don't research the market for you, shame on them. But if they don't do it, just ask them to research the market for you. I like to do a little CMA or a comparable market analysis for homes that my buyers are looking at. It's a real quick top of mind. Does this price make sense? Are the comps around the neighborhood substantiating that price? There's a lot of things that can go in that, and they are very, very easy to do. So if you're working with us, I can give you that in like 2 or 3 minutes on each home that you want it on. It's super fast and super easy to do. But if you're not getting the market research that you're looking for, come and work with us. All right, why did the house go to therapy? It had too many issues to deal with. Oh boy, these are getting worse. Okay. This part's the Q&A session. Like I said, there's nobody here in the in-person class. Like I said, the snow scared everybody away. But let's see the little thing at the bottom. Why did the home buyer bring a pencil to closing? Because they wanted to draw up a deal. Nice. All right. We will have part 2 of this class. So I teach a 4-part class. The first part is this one, first-time homebuyer class. The second part is all about being a home seller. So if you happen to get your first home with me and then you become a home seller later on, that's totally good. Or if you just are wondering what does it look like to sell a home, that's all about that one. Oh, nice. Hey, thanks, Mom. Appreciate you. We'll be wrapping up here in like 2 seconds and I'll turn it all off. So we have the second part though, home selling. So it's all about getting top dollar, what it looks like to be a seller. And then we have the third part of the 4-part miniseries class that is all about rental property. Like I said, I own a rental property in Missouri that I've never seen, never touched, never even held the keys. So we know what that looks like. I can teach you that from experience. Then we have the home that I own across the street from me. So I literally have another rental that is 46 feet from me that's actually being managed by one of my friends. So I don't even manage it myself. I can teach that from experience as well. That's part 3 of the 4-part miniseries class. And then at the very end, we teach a class that is all about mortgages. So part 4 is all about mortgages. And that gets you prepared to be bankable and ready to either buy your first home or become a home seller potentially, or get your first rental. So at any point in this 4-part miniseries class, you can pick up, learn something, then come to the next class if you want, or skip a class. They're really built and designed so that you can pick and choose what you'd like to see. But we are going to teach these once a month, probably for the foreseeable future, till I get either bored of making the content or I get tired of ordering Jimmy John's. Okay, super huge thank you. I am just very grateful for everybody that showed up online. I'm very grateful for everybody that will watch this later on our YouTube channel. I'm grateful for all of our clients out there, and I'm very grateful for our team as well. We have a great, amazing team. So if you haven't seen, we have about 14 or 15 agents that are fully trained, fully capable to help you buy your next house or sell your next house. Lots of things there. And if you want to, just Google Fitness Realty and you'll see all 195 reviews right now, or 194 or something like that. So don't take my word for it. Just Google it and check it out. What's a real estate agent's favorite type of music? House music. That's probably the best dad joke at the end. And then lastly, the thing that I have up on the screen, if you want, you can sign up for our $500 gift drawing right now. You can just click on that, and it's a QR code that'll take you right to the $500 gift drawing. We do the drawing once a year, like right before Black Friday. So if you want to get involved, you can, and you can sign up as many times as you'd like to increase your odds of winning that $500. So, all right. As always, my name is TJ McLelland. I'm the team lead of Fitness Realty right now, the marketing group. We are with Real. I love our transition. If you want more tech tools and you want to work with somebody that has access to those tools, that's us. Message me anytime. If you are an agent out there thinking about why you're not making enough money in this business, we have a Deal Maker Academy right now. You could partner with me on my next deal, and then I'll show you the ropes and help spur your career. I have helped people make over $100,000 their first year in real estate. So there are tons of ways that I can get you to make more money and be more successful in this business. So if you want that, text me, call me anytime. All right. Thanks, everybody. I love you guys. We are all finished. See you guys for part 2, which will be all about home sellers. All right. See you, everybody. Love you guys. Thanks.